First on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the matter to do with applications for special one-day license for malt beverages and wine only, or either one. Is Krista here? Krista Sekritas of the Lowell Catholic High School. This is for beer and wine only, or either one, for Saturday, October 24th, 2009, from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. The event is a class reunion at the Lowell Catholic High School Auditorium at 530 Stevens Street. Kelly Sullivan of Conacher Technologies for Sunday, September 13th, 2009, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The event is the Conacher Technologies Company outing at Shed Park Pavilion on Roger Street. The Board of Parks, who's the board that oversees the public playgrounds, voted to approve the request for alcohol beverages for this event, and they took that vote on August 26, 2009. Laurie Selleck of the Merrimack Repertory Theater for theatrical performances at the Liberty Hall at 50 East Merrimack Street, 1/2 hour prior to and during intermission for dates in September, starting this evening, September 10th, running through until October the 4th, 2009, a total of 19 dates. This is during a performance that's scheduled to start this evening. Demetrius Geodasis for Thursday, October 1st, 2009, from 5:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. The event is the Textile Museum Putting Skills Golf Tournament at the Gazebo Cafe Grill at 491 Dutton Street. Also, special one-day license for all alcoholic beverages, Nicholas C. Petrakis of the Blue Shamrock for the end of summer cookout on Palmer Street from Market Street to the alleyway abutting Blue Shamrock, Friday, September 11th, 2009, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, and Saturday, September 12th, 2009, from 12 noon to 12 midnight. Mr. Chairman, if I may just introduce Nick Petrakis in advance so that he may not necessarily need to have to stay for any additional action of the board.
Mr. Petrakis.
Yeah, I'd just like to respectfully ask the commission, I'm going to withdraw my request only because of some...
Had my teeth fixed. My hearing doesn't work. Do you think they planned that? Okay.
Yeah, I respectfully request from the commission, I'm going to withdraw my request because of some logistical problems and some, the weather conditions and stuff, whatever, so I no longer
Okay.
require, so if I could do
Motion
that.
to withdraw.
Seconded.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
Nick. You can go. Thank you. Okay, if you'd just step up to the mic and introduce yourself, please.
Kelly Sullivan, representing Conacher Technologies. Hi, Krista Sekrenzis from Lowell Catholic High School.
Laurie Seelick from Merrimack Repertory Theater.
Demetrius Gildasis, Gazebo Cafe.
Okay. How many of you have been before us before? Ooh. They're going to get the long speech. Okay.
Should we cut the commercial?
No. It's vitally important that you understand it is your license. It does not belong to the Merrimack Theater. It does not belong to Conacher Technologies. It does not belong to Lowell Catholic High School. It belongs to you. It's your license. Therefore, you are responsible. Now, I don't know if you're going to have a class reunion inside, I presume? Yes. That will be inside. Okay, so you won't have any problems. You're going to have a party at Shed Park. You don't have to fence in all of Shed Park, but wherever you're serving beer or wine or alcohol, you have to have that area segregated and fenced in. You can't just let people walk around the park drinking, okay? The theater, I know that you're indoors, but you got to be aware of the fact that you've got a license for the Merrimack Theater. The auditorium has a license for events that go there. Nary the two should ever meet, okay? The golf tournament, you're going to have like a banquet or something inside. This is in the Lowell Sun area there where the restaurant used to be. Yeah, well, they used to have the restaurant, right? Okay. And that'll be inside. So, the problem today is responsibility. Okay? nobody wants to accept responsibility for themselves. So it ends up that you're trying to run this event, you're putting your neck on the line, you're doing all the work, you're out there beating the pavement, trying to get people to attend the reunion or go to the theater or play in the golf tournament or whatever it is. And so now we got some friend or something, so I'll take care of it, I'll be the bartender for you. One for them, two for me, one for them, two for me. All of a sudden, you know, you got somebody that's tanked, that has absolutely no idea what he's doing. It's your license. We're closed. It's that simple. Believe me, your job can't pay you enough to accept the problems that can be caused if somebody gets in an accident for drunk driving, or God forbid, which I often like to use as an example, you always got the bleeding heart, you know? Oh, give Kathy a sombrero. She's 19. She's old enough. Well, then Kathy falls down the stairs and splits her head open. And you know what? It's your fault because you made that sombrero. It's not the jerk that bought it. It's not the parent that gave it to her. It's your fault because you did it. You enabled me to buy that drink to give to my daughter. I don't understand that. I don't say that to scare you, but that's the way people are today. Nobody ever steps up and says, you know what, this one's my fault. I took my grandson fishing. We're on a 4-foot embankment. I said, be careful. He's only 6 years old. He hooked a bass on the thing. He got so excited, he went down fell into the lake. That was my fault. That wasn't his fault. I'm the adult. I should have tied a rope around him or something. But the point is, you got to take responsibility, and people don't do that today. So you need to be sure that whatever happens in the service of alcohol, if you have a policeman, the commission doesn't say you have to hire one. I say to people, it's a very wise investment, but that's up to you. We don't force that on you. But I always say to people, have that cell phone right to 911. The moment you have a problem, you press that button. There is an ordinance in this city that says anything, any kind of an altercation where alcohol is being served, you must call the police. They're not going to come and arrest you. They're going to come and help you. But if they don't get there till after there's a full-blown riot and nobody's called the police, there's going to be hell to pay. They want to go home to their families at night. So, you know, I know that I just said a lot of negative stuff, and now I say to you, you know, it's wonderful that we have folks like yourself that will step forward, that will do these things, because if not, you know, we might as well turn the city into a cemetery, everybody being nice and quiet. But you know what? We need people like you to do things. That's what makes the city go. That's what makes everything, as long as we play by the rules. And unfortunately, when you step into the leadership role, you also have to make sure everybody else plays by the rules. Do you have any questions at all? Any at all? Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Good
luck
luck.
to you.
I hope you have a great turnout. The sun shines, and we don't see you back here. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up matters to do with special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment. Victor M. Hernandez, manager of the Mr. Jalapeno Inc., requested permit for a band with sound system, Mexican Independence Day, Tuesday, September 15, 2009, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the outside seating area in front of 124 Merrimack Street. Also, Julia Gavin of the Cultural Organization of Lowell, known as Cool, Saturday, September 12, 2009, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Kerouac Park at Bridge Street, known to be the Mutt Strut, a DJ with sound system. Also, Saturday, September 26, 2009, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. is the Lowell Arts Festival at Market Mills Courtyard, 246 Market Street. There'll be bands with sound system, and the River 92.5 van on Market Street with a sound system for DJ.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Please come on up to the microphone.
There you go.
Victor Hernandez from the manager of Jalapeno, 124 Merrimack Street.
Okay?
Julia Gavin from Cultural Organization of Lowell.
Okay. The only, you've got, none of them are really that late. You are at 10 o'clock on Mexican Independence Day, and I don't think 10 o'clock is unreasonable, okay? But that's me, okay? I don't think any of the cool organizations, we've got 7 and 12 noon. I can't imagine, you know. Some of us old people are in bed by 7, though, anyway. But 10 o'clock, you know, I still don't think that's unreasonable, but I would say to you, if you can walk 3 blocks away and you can still hear the music, guess what? It's probably too loud, okay? It's a common sense license. It says, you know, if you can walk 3 or 4 blocks away and you still can hear the music, something's wrong, okay? You're only entertaining the people that are right there. And, you know, I'm sure that everybody likes Mexican music, or I don't know what kind of music Kerouac had, but anyways, I'm sure that, you know. Okay?
Right, I appreciate it. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
And Nick withdrew that, okay?
Good luck to you. Is anyone here from the auditorium? Commission will now take up matters to do with applications for public amusement licenses for the Lowell Memorial Auditorium at 50 East Merrimack Street. The applicant is Thomas McKay, Mill City Management, Inc. Peter Lally is here representing Tom McKay, Mill City Management, Inc. Number of applications for public amusement licenses, starting with the Forum, put on by the Young Professional of Greater Lowell Business Leadership Forum for Wednesday, September 16, 2009, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. There is an Indian concert scheduled for Friday night, October 2nd, 2009, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., put on by the Spotlight Entertainment. Concert The Newsboys, Friday, October 9th, from 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m., put on by the New Sound Concerts. A show known as Forever Tango, Saturday, October 10th, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., put on by Mill City Management. A concert, Foreigner, Saturday, October 17th, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., also Mill City Management promoter. The show, Champions of Dance, Friday, October 30th, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., and Mill City Management is promoter. Concert, Brian Wilson, for Thursday, November 12th, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., Mill City Management promoter. Concert, Jim Brickman, Saturday, November 14th, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., Mill City Management promoter. There's a show, Guy Fieri, for Tuesday, November 17th, from 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m., Mill City Management promoter. And a concert, Dark Star Orchestra, for Saturday, November 21st, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., Mill City Management promoter.
You don't look like Carlene McDonald.
No, she had a death in the family and wasn't able to attend.
Oh,
So I'm here.
okay, and your name is?
Pete Lally.
Pete Lally. Okay, Pete. None of these seem too wild and crazy to me. I don't know that much. Anything young? Okay, well,
We'll keep them
maybe
under
you ought to
control.
speak on that then, Counselor.
That's all right.
I don't know anything. Do you know anything?
No, I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
Motion
second
made
that
and
motion.
seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 You're all set.
Thank you very much.
Oh, does he? Yeah. Next on the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, we have Mr. Robert Ramirez, who's the manager of the Back Page Jazz and Comedy Club LLC, DBA The Back Page, here with us. On April 30th, 2009, the License Commission had approved an application by Back Page Jazz and Comedy Club LLC for an all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license for premises at 15 County Square, Unit Number 2. To date, that matter of the application has not been forwarded to the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission for its approval. Mr. Ramirez is here now, respectfully requesting that that matter now be forwarded to the ABCC at the earliest opportunity.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Robert Ramirez.
Okay. I think we went through most of everything, Bob. Captain Webb?
Any issue?
If I was to comment on this, I don't think I should do it in open session.
You want to move to executive session?
I think so, yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we move to executive session.
Second.
Vote by the board. Commissioner Weicker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bayless?
Yeah.
Commissioner Occasion?
Yes.
Okay, I have 17 past. We'll be back by what? We'll be back by 20 past. Okay? Do you have an attorney, sir? Or you by yourself?
Will the commission now entertain a vote to reconvene regular session?
Motion to reconvene.
Okay, Commissioner Weicker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bayless?
Yes.
Commissioner Occasion?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, how close are you to open up?
Well, we needed this to continue on with, rather sinking more money into this. I want to make sure that this was clarified. So,
Okay.
a couple of months, maybe.
Couple of months?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, are you actually in the Lowell Sun building?
The old Lowell Sun?
The old
yeah.
Lowell Sun building?
Yep.
So, you know, you're gonna, I don't know what you're doing to the place. It's gonna be a comedy club. You know, I hope that some of your money is being invested in soundproofing.
Yep.
You know, because some of this here traditionally, unfortunately, we have other places in the city that people have bought these condos above I don't want to use the term, a nightclub and a commercial. Thank you. See? You got to keep these guys around for something. And you know, they make some noise and the noise goes upstairs and then people start getting mad, you know, so it's, I would hope that the people that are buying know that know that you're there. I'd hope you work it out with them so that there's no problems. And as I said, I hope some of your dollars are going into soundproofing, so that, you can, and we appreciate you making an investment in Lowell. I mean, this is really what it's all about.
Right.
So, any questions? Any questions?
No
As
question.
far as that goes, I mean, I've been doing that. We already put up soundboard and.
Yeah,
There is gonna be commercial units above me, but, I mean, downstairs, there's only so much I can do. Upstairs, where he still has it open, I was told that I would work with him, you know what I mean? I told him that,
good.
I mean,
That's the way to start out,
Yeah.
You start out by going right to the owner and say, look, I don't want to be a pain in the neck, I want to work with you on this, so.
he just bought, so he's got a ton of work ahead of him, but, we said, especially if it's commercial space, thank
Yeah.
God, it won't be as bad, you know what I mean? But,
Great, good enough.
we should work it out.
Somebody want to give me a motion? We don't? Yeah.
Just that you can
Motion
instruct
to-
me to forward the
Yeah.
papers to.
Motion to forward it.
Second.
Seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, you're all
Great,
set,
thank you
you're
very
going to
much.
forward it forward. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the matter of an application by AMAE Restaurant LLC, doing business as AMAE Asian Fusion Restaurant, through Kwok Vu Manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 602-608 Merrimack Street, for a license for entertainment in a licensed restaurant for 2009, inclusive of live music, soloist band, disc jockey. Thu Vu is here. Mr. Chairman, after 3 or 4 months, the ABCC finally approved the transfer from Mango Tango Inc., and that recently came forward about last week. Now Mr. Vu is here to request entertainment license for the business for which he has an alcohol license.
Okay, introduce yourself for the record.
Yes, I am Thu Vu. I am the manager of my restaurant.
Okay. Where is 602-608 Merrimack Street? What was package store? Oh, okay, I know, yep, all right, fine. Okay, you're down the end, you got a lot of housing around there. Across the street, okay? The Ashenbo Towers is, right up the street there. There's you, and then there's the housing, okay? So, this could, have we had any problems with this restaurant, Captain Webb?
Not since Mr. Vu has been there. There were a number of problems there when it was the Mango Tango as far as
Okay.
entertainment.
But not since he's been there?
No, nothing since he's been there.
Okay. And, that says something for you, that you've been able to turn that around, because many, many times, my fellow commissioners, and especially the secretary, would tell you that once a place gets a bad reputation, it seems like it follows it no matter if the owners change or not. People always, that's where and it's really hard to straighten out. Now, you're going to have a license to have music and whatnot. You got to take, because we at one time were having a lot of problems at that end of the city with loud music and noise and whatnot. So you've got to be aware of it. Music and entertainment is common sense. You get somebody that works from you to walk outside, and if you've got the music inside your building and the door's closed, and you're a block down the street and you can still hear it, guess what? It's too loud. It's too loud. You don't need the neighbors to call. You should know that it's too loud, and you just turn it down. It's for the enjoyment of your customers. Sometimes I think that they should have some kind of thing where you sign up, and in some of these places, if they ruin your hearing, they have to buy you a hearing aid, but of course, that would be far too practical. But anyways, you have to be remembering that you're in a neighborhood, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you very much, sir.
Just moving this business down the street.
Commission will now
Next on
take
the
up the
agenda.
matter of an application by Action Rentals, Inc., Kenneth J. Mackey, President, used car dealer licensee, Class 2, number 725-B, to change location of premises from 1582 Middlesex Street to 1625 Middlesex Street, an office area approximately 600 square feet within the building, and approximately 7,700 square feet of leased space in an open lot for 35 vehicles. Mr. Mackey?
Yep. Ken Mackey, President, Action Rentals, Inc., doing business as You Save Car and Truck Rental.
Okay, now, you're in the rental car business.
Correct.
Right? And the rest, and the only thing I'm curious about is what is on this other, on the other, in Middlesex Street, you've got, 3,600 square feet, a 90-foot frontage, and then there's another business here to your right, facing the, what is there? You can come up here, I'll point it to you if you want. I'm just curious, your spaces are the periphery, right? Up here.
What is this?
What's
space?
this? This is your office.
Town Line Tire, this is another business. It's a garage.
A repair garage?
Repair garage, this is all his spaces over here.
All right.
This is his garage here. This is the other dealership in the middle.
What are the dealership that sells cars?
Correct.
Okay, and then you're the rental.
Right here.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. How long have you been in the rental business? 12 years. 12 years.
Yeah, we're at 1582 Middlesex Street since 1997, and we just moved.
Okay. Fine. I don't see a problem with it. How about you? What do you think?
No, I think it's fine. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, you're all set.
Thank you.
You gotta get along with your landlord there. He's inside you. You're on the outside. Yeah. Along. No, that's ours. We keep that.
The application is for the file. But Ms. Mackey, while you're here, you mentioned the comment about your business name. Yeah. Had you registered with the city clerk that business name under the corporate name, Action Rentals? Yes. Okay, if one of your business partners wants to provide me with a copy of that document, then I can include that on the license. Sure. Okay? And then at the point in time when the time to issue the new license, I would need that old license back to be canceled out.
When we issue the new license?
You have a license presently for 1582 Middlesex Street. In order for it to be recorded properly as 1625 Middlesex for the lot that you now occupy, I need to issue to a new license.
So bring it in.
The old one would have to be...
Yes. Okay?
Thank you.
Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the matter of an application by Louis Ibarra, doing business as Delicious Paces Bakery and Restaurant for malt beverage and wine only restaurant license for premises at 392 Bridge Street. Mr. Ibarra is licensed as a common victualler for premises at 392 Bridge Street. The premises includes 2 unnumbered doors on the west side, 1 room for counter service, and a dining room and a kitchen. This is a public hearing for the beer and wine restaurant license, in which a legal notice had been published in the local newspaper on Friday, August 28, 2009. It required the applicant to notify property owners touching. A list of abutters from the city assessor's office was provided to the applicant, as well as any church, school, or hospital within 500 feet. There are 2 churches within a 500-foot radius of the premises at 392 Bridge Street. Mr. Ibarra earlier this afternoon submitted proof of notice of mailing with an affidavit signed and notarized.
Okay. Both churches are there. All right, introduce yourself for the record, please.
My name is Luis Ibarra, owner of the Delicious Bakery, 392 Bridge Street.
Okay. How long you've been operating the place?
7 years.
You've been there 7 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. If you want to just step aside, I'm going to see if anybody wants to make any comments, okay?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, thank you. Okay, I'm going to ask, does anybody want to speak in opposition to this beer and wine license? Anybody want to speak in opposition? In opposition, that portion of the hearing's closed. Anybody want to speak in favor? Anybody want to speak in favor? In favor. That portion of the hearing's closed. I can't understand. You should have had your friends come in. Step up. Captain Webb, do we have any issues?
Oh, nothing to report.
Okay. It looks to me like the churches have been notified, and doesn't look like there's anybody having any problem. So, have you ever worked in, geez. Can you talk to them? Okay. Have you ever worked in serving alcohol?
No, sir.
No. Okay, have you ever worked at a place that served alcohol?
I did work, that was like 10 years ago.
Okay. Are you going to have a bar there, or is this strictly going to be like, for the tables? If somebody wants a drink, they have it at a table with their food.
That's the idea, yes, sir. I mean, we're not open like a bar until 1:30 in the morning, no.
You're not going to have a bar?
No.
No. This is strictly like somebody wants a glass of wine, or somebody strictly for consumption.
With the food, right.
With your food,
yes,
okay?
Sir.
All right. The easy thing for me to say is, sure, yeah, you can have your license. Before I listen to any of it, I need to make sure you thoroughly, you're putting yourself in a whole new arena. 7 years of running it, and obviously you've made a sizable investment in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And I commend you for that. And now you want to take the next step, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't blame you, because you have to stay competitive to the other places that you're competing with. If somebody likes to have a sandwich with a beer, and there's a place down the street that's going to serve it, and you're not, that's where they're going to go. I mean, that's is obvious.
Right.
The problem with it is that, have you ever heard the expression, fools rush in where angels fear to tread? Well, that's what happens a lot of times. So I'm going to say to you that you need to educate yourself. You need to educate yourself. You need to educate every single person that works for you. How to check an ID. How to find out if somebody's had enough to drink.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's a mentality, not in everybody, but it's in Lowell and it's in every other community in the United States of America. There are people that go out and work all week, and they get paid on Friday, and I got the right to get drunk because I worked all week. So I'm going to sit there and drink half my paycheck away, and then I'm going to get in an accident, And then I'm going to sue the guy that owns the restaurant because it's got to be his fault. It couldn't possibly be mine. And you know, you're laughing at it, but unfortunately, it's true.
That happens.
It really does happen. And we always say, oh, it's going to happen to the other guy. And of course, we always hope that it does. But we have to be ever vigilant, because today, nobody accepts responsibility for themselves. Nobody. Not from the 6-year-old child to the 98-year-old adult. Nobody. It's always, you know, if you sit back and you thought about it years ago, if you'd said to somebody, the devil made me do it, they probably would have given you a boot in the right place and thrown you out. Today, they firmly believe the devil made you do it. You couldn't have possibly done that on your own. So I say these things to you because we want to see you succeed. You're putting 7 years of hard work at risk. Because the moment you step in the alcohol arena, there's a whole new bunch of rules that apply. There's a whole new bunch of things that you've got to watch out for. You know, nobody ever got a sugar high from too many pastries and went out and got in trouble.
Unless they were diabetic.
Unless they were diabetic. You know, there's one in every crowd. Okay? So you need to know that, okay?
Okay.
So and again, we don't require it, but my fellow commissioners and I, we try to tell people, we try to strongly encourage you that you find out where there's a TIPS course. TIPS teaches you how to serve alcohol, things to watch for. It's a very, very, very good course. The bartender school in Billerica, is it in Billerica? Yeah. The bartender school in Billerica offers a TIPS course.
Okay.
I've taken it. I've never, you know, served alcohol in my life, but when I took this job, I wanted to find out what it was about, so I took the course.
Okay.
And I was amazed at the things that they teach you to watch for, things that you would never think twice of. But they have that experience, they have that expertise, they have that knowledge to help you protect your investment. Okay?
Appreciate that.
Anything?
I'd say just be careful, too. You're going to have to learn how to check an ID and make sure it's a legitimate ID.
Okay.
All right? They're very easy to fake. There are some machines available that can read them to determine whether or not they're real.
Okay.
But it's incumbent on you to make sure that, you know, you're checking and what you're looking at is a real ID.
Okay.
Right.
Just echo the comments that both Commissioner Weicker and Commissioner Bayless had stated. You have to be very vigilant, especially where this license is going to be in your name personally. This isn't a corporation, so if something goes wrong, they're coming after you, they're coming after your house, they're coming after your cars, they're coming after everything. So you got to make sure that you protect yourself, and the best way you're going to do that is by making sure that you're properly trained in serving alcohol. And good luck.
Thank you.
Motion, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, they're gonna, you send this to Boston, right, Ryan? Okay.
Right.
It has to be sent, is he signed everything and given you a check? Okay. Ryan's gonna have to send this to Boston. Boston's gonna send it to Department of Revenue, make sure you've paid all your taxes, your real estate taxes, everything. Believe me, if you owe $5, and they'll be calling you before they'll ever approve it.
Okay.
Deval Patrick needs the money.
Right. Thank
Okay?
you, sir. Appreciate it.
Somebody's got to do something about this, counselor. They should have a no-fly zone, a no siren zone. Yeah. Don't you think that's a good idea?
Depends on when I have to do another legal.
So he's gonna go.
Whenever he wants to go forward with that. Commission now open up the hearing on an application for the transfer of the all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license from Bo Inc., doing business as For My Mai, Fin Dan Bo President, to Yung Loan Inc., doing business as Super Bowl Restaurant and Pub, Yung Farm President, for premises at 1733 Middlesex Street, 1 unnumbered door east and west sides, 2 unnumbered doors north side, 1 room for restaurant lounge, dance floor approximately 2,000 square feet, kitchen, walk-in cooler, office, an outdoor deck, east side, approximately 1,100 square feet. It is requested that Hong Pham of Lowell be approved as manager of record for Hyung Long Inc. The following minor license application has been filed by the Hyung Long Inc., and that would be for entertainment, for license, restaurant, live music, disc jockey, and jukebox. Now, the business is operating under Super Bowl Restaurant and Pub as a common vitler presently, had Board of Health inspection approval, as well, but no alcohol has been served or no alcohol is on the premises. For that license was suspended or temporarily surrendered to the License Commission office pending a transfer or completion with the local board and the state. The application also includes that the transferee, Yung Long Inc., asked for alteration of premises to add a new entrance on the southeast side of the building fronting Middlesex Street. However, that matter may have to be continued for a later date, and I'm sure the attorney representing the transferee will have some explanation on that matter.
Okay. Introduce yourself.
I'm Thomas Anzoni. I'm an attorney in Chelmsford. I'm representing these folks.
Okay, could you say your name again, please?
Anzoni, Thomas Anzoni.
Thomas Anzoni, yes.
My name is Hong Pham, president of Super Bowl Restaurant in 1733 Middlesex Street.
My name is Hong Pham. I'm the manager for Super Bowl Restaurant.
How old are you?
21, sir. I'm going to be 22 in November, if that helps.
Good God, I got to talk to you later, find out what you eat. You're 21.
Yes, sir.
Do you shave? No. I didn't think so. Holy smoke. I know they're making him younger, and you get, these are scary days.
Please forgive him. He's just jealous.
I am. I'm going to admit it. You know.
I will say I've gotten to know.
You don't talk to me. I don't even have your head.
If you want to know how old I am, I know if that. But I've gotten to know this family over the last 4 or 5 months, and I must say he looks 15, but he acts like he's 35. The maturity level is fantastic on this gentleman.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. But he does look 15. I'll agree with you. Holy smoke.
It's a Vietnamese food, I think.
I guess it is. You put him out in front of the restaurant, you could look like this. Eat here. Captain Webb.
Nothing to report, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, now, this is, simply a transfer. We understand that you haven't put out your mailing for the alteration. So the only thing we can deal with today is the transfer of the license, all right? Okay, so my first question is, have you ever worked in a place that serves alcohol beverage?
No, I have not worked in a place that has served alcohol, but I am certified with the New England Bartending School.
Did you go to the one in Billerica?
Yeah, Tewksbury.
Billerica. So you're tip certified?
Yes.
Yep, okay, good. How about the old guy standing next to you?
He will be getting it after we get the license.
Well, you're going to be the boss then, right?
Sure.
Okay. It's the best investment you can make, okay? I must say, and I tell my fellow commissioners, you guys have done a wonderful job with that piece of property. I drive by there all the time. You've cleaned it up. It looks neat. The parking lot's clean. You're a credit to the community. The thing had really started to look a little seedy. They had the outdoor patio area there, and it was always looked like a junk pile. And I say that, and I want you to know that. I go around and look at the places, and I happen to go by your place quite a bit, and I really appreciate the work that you have put into the outside of that. I'm sure that you've done the same inside. I just haven't had the opportunity to stop, but the outside is a credit to Lowell. it looks nice, you know, and I'm sure all it took was a broom and a little bit of muscle, elbow muscle to clean it up. And if we could get more people to do that, the place would look much better. I don't see any major issues with this as far as a transfer is concerned. You have to understand now, this is going to be your license. You're going to be the manager of record. So anything goes wrong, guess who they're going to come looking for? Right. And anything goes wrong, no matter whether you're on vacation, you're down in Florida, or you are responsible. So I would make sure that this is your father, right? Yes. Yeah. I would sit him down, have a serious talk with him, and make sure he understands that he's representing you and that he's going to be responsible when you're not there. But he is not the manager of record, even if you're not there. You still hold that title, okay? So if he gives you a hard time, fire him. Get rid of him. You don't need him. Your license is on the board. Come and see me. I'll get you a good lawyer. Okay? All right. Any questions?
No, I have no questions,
No, I have no questions. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made. Now, Ryan, does this go to Boston also for the train? Okay. I'm sure your attorney will explain it to you. Even this is a transfer, and if it gets voted through, it's going to go to Boston. So you got to have your meals, taxes, and all those things right up to snuff, or they will not allow the transfer to go through. They research all that background. So I have a motion to approve. I have a second. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good luck to you.
Very much. Thank you.
Good luck,
Take
guys.
care. Get out of here. Do you think he was that old? Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the matter of an application that was originally addressed by the License Commission on August 20th. Application by Geraldo Magella Almeida for a used car dealer license Class 2 for premises at 50 Perry Street, an open lot approximately 5,400 square feet with building for office and a two-bay garage approximately 1,300 square feet. Presently, the licensee is Carway Auto Center, Inc., Lucia McAloon as the president. Her license number is 726-B, and its conditions are that there be a maximum of 14 vehicles on the lot for sale and storage, no junk vehicles or parts, and no vehicles to be parked on the street or sidewalk.
Introduce yourself for the record.
I am Gerald Magella Almeida.
Okay, I have your notarized statement here. And I understand what you're saying about you're going to have people there that speak English. You want to take it? How do you feel about it?
I know the last time we were here, we wanted to make sure that you understood the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And through this, are you saying that you understand all the rules and regulations?
Yes.
Okay. And he understood that question, so that's a good sign. I don't have any problem with it.
Right?
Everybody gets enough rope.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Yes. I hope we don't regret this. You know, you're buying a dealership, and you're being represented by the people that are selling you the dealership. I just don't go for it. You're done. Go.
You voted in favor, correct?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'd like to say something. You helping us, guys. I have all the rules in English and Portuguese. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to explain everything to him. He can understand better.
You
right?
got to.
Yeah.
You got to,
Right.
because
Right.
you know, you're running a business, and you basically are taking responsibility,
Yeah.
but it's his business.
Yeah. But he's my brother anyway. I
Oh,
have to
okay.
help him
You
all
know,
the time.
well,
All right. Thank you very much.
all right, you got it. Go ahead. I hope we don't see you.
Are these, this stuff right here, these are just letters that you're gonna go.
Yeah.
Commission will now open the hearing continued from August 20th, 2009 on the application by Amanje Inc., doing business as Quick Mart, Sheila Patel, president, for a malt beverage and wine only packaged goods store license for premise at 1401 Gorham Street. Doors on the north side, doors on south side, a one-story building, approximately 945 square feet of retail space. Applicant required to mail legal notice to property owners touching and any church, school, or hospital within 500 feet. It is requested that Yushila Patel be approved as the manager of record for Amanje Inc. Amanje Inc. had also filed an application for license for common victular for premises at 1401 Gorham Street. For understanding by the public, Commissioner Occasion has recused himself from this particular application, citing a conflict of interest. His law office has represented certain licensee for alcohol beverages and in close proximity to the location of this application, and he's recusing himself for the potential conflict that may be present.
Introduce yourself for the record.
I'm Urshila Patel, for president of Amajing.
And Andrew Zarulis, attorney for Amajing.
I'd like to take a moment and just thank you both for coming back, and I do apologize for the confusion at the last meeting. I was delayed in court.
I think it was mutual
So-
confusion, so I apologize for my part of the confusion.
All right.
As long as you got our letter of apology, that's all that matters, you know what I mean? Okay, there's only 2 abutters to this property according to the, 3? There's only 3 abutters according to the engineers?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a church. It was one of the 3. Where's the church located? It's at 1426 Gorham Street.
Right where the old 3A splits.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. All right, well, they signed off. It's a public hearing, so if you'll allow me, I'd ask you to step aside, and I'll call and see if there's anybody who wants to speak in opposition. In opposition? Yes. Introduce yourself for the record. Give
My
your
name
and
is
address.
Chang Tel. I own a package store on 1300 Gorham Street. My package store have a fully licensed serve alcohol beverage. I don't see that we need another liquor store, package store, just like about 5 property away from my business. The business is already hard enough, and it will be make more difficulty for my business if they have a license over there, just like 4 or 5 property away from my business.
Okay, that's all?
That's all.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else to speak in opposition? In opposition, in opposition. That portion of the hearing is closed. Anyone to speak in favor? In favor, step up to the mic, give your name and address, please.
My name is Larry Hickey. I live at 74 Cliffside Road in Lowell. I own a business in Lowell, a legal services provider, Sullivan and Company. I was raised in the neighborhood where Ms. Patel owns the filling station and convenience store. My mother and my stepfather maintain a home on Divine Avenue, a short distance away, where my mother has resided for some 50 years. I'm very familiar with the neighborhood. I'm also very familiar with the Patel family. Close friends with Nitin Patel, who owns Store 38. Spoke on his behalf when he obtained his beer and wine license. I've known the Patel family for quite a number of years. They're of outstanding moral character. They have done an outstanding job cleaning up the premises where the filling station convenience store is located on Gorham Street, and they also provide a service which is a great benefit to the elderly. It's a full-service gas station, so it's a little bit easier for the elderly people. They can have the gas pumped for them. While I understand the gentleman from down the street has a full liquor license, the beer and wine license, I'm sure, would help the Patel family in these tough economic times to keep their operation going. I think it's been a great benefit to the neighborhood, and I think it will continue to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else to speak in favor? Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I'm Ramon Santiago. Raymond Santiago.
Raymond, how are you?
And I live in his neighbor too, 138 Boulder Street. And I live in there is over there is pick it up sometimes milk, soda, everything. And sometimes my family is coming here. It's good for walking. And it's good place. These people is nice. Every time you go to the store, everybody nice, beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I never problem for bring the license.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Anyone else to speak in favor? In favor? In favor. That portion of the... Yes.
Hi, my name is David Hunt. I live at 1227 Lawrence Street in Lowell. I just want to say that I've known, like Larry, the Patel family for several years, and they are very high character, great morals and values, and they're great role models for anybody in the city. That's about it.
Good, thank you. Anyone else in favor? That's it. That portion of the hearing is closed. If you'd come back to the mic, Counselor. Okay, and I'm sure that you've heard the speeches all along, so I'm going to ask you the question. Have you ever dealt with alcohol, whether it be in a restaurant or a package store, and have you ever worked anywhere where they've handled alcohol?
Yes, I used to work my brother-in-law's store at Highness.
Pull the mic down just a little bit, please. There
I
you
used
go.
to work in Highness, my brother-in-law's store.
A diner?
Highness.
Hi.
Highness at Cape Cod.
What's the name of it?
Highness.
Okay.
Where?
At Cape Cod. Highness.
No, I'm missing it.
The
I'm sorry.
Oh, Hyannis and Cape Cod.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Highness.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You know, my hearing's good. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
They have
Okay.
a deli restaurant with liquor and wine, with beer and wine.
With beer and wine. Okay. Now, you're not going to have anything consumed on the premises, you're strictly going to sell it?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. You know, I'm going to pass this off to Ray. And,
I guess the biggest concern is, do you know what you're getting into if you're going to be selling beer and wine? That's the biggest concern, you know. And as you've gone over all of that with your counsel for what the potential liabilities are?
We did. She's familiar with it through the place in Hyannis. She also has her brother-in-law here, Nitin Patel, that has a full package store at Route 38, Store 38. So she's very familiar with the business and what it entails and what's necessary to do.
Yes.
And you've gone over all of the reporting requirements and purchasing requirements and everything. It's just, you know, you're getting into something that's very big. You know, you're in a location where you don't get a lot of foot traffic, but you do get a lot of convenience traffic. That's fair to say, given the proximity sitting there. I think that's, if I'm not incorrect, this is right where the road splits, 3A.
It'd be kind of foolish to walk on that street because it does split and traffic comes from 4 different directions. Most of the traffic would be people driving up to get the service of the gas station or convenience store, and presumably everything that's bought there will be taken home for consumption. So I think she's well versed in the industry.
Okay. I mean, that's my concern is I know given the location, you've got a lot of traffic that comes through there. I do know people who actually go there because of the fact that you have full service as opposed to pump yourself, especially in the cold weather and wet days. It's pretty popular. I'm kind of a firm believer that, whether there's a need in the community, it will be quickly decided by the people who either buy or don't buy from you. I mean, according to the state of Massachusetts, Lowell is authorized, I believe 22 all alcohol and 22 beer and wine package stores, and we have 22 all alcohol and
12. A dozen.
How many beer and wine only package stores do we currently have granted?
No, how many have we granted?
How many have been granted today?
12.
8. Okay. So, I know that we're still below the formula set by the state. The question is, are you going to offer something that people are going to want? It's not an inexpensive license. You're going to be spending some money for that license. And I think if you're not making any money off of selling this product, you'll end up turning the license back in. We've had that happen before where people have just not renewed their licenses because there wasn't any money to be made in the sale of the beverage. Your big niche market is going to be convenience. With that in mind, again, I firmly believe that if you don't offer something people want, they're not going to come to you to buy. If you don't offer them a nice, safe, well-lit place that's clean and someplace they want to go, they're not going to go there. So, with those words of caution, I will make a motion to go ahead and approve the license and let the marketplace decide whether or not you stay in business.
This is a tough one for me because because your proximity to the other person, and I know that what the other gentleman said is true. If you start selling beer and wine, it's probably going to make his business harder. Unfortunately, the law doesn't allow for that. The law does not allow for us to make a decision based on what he said about, it's tough selling and it's going to affect his business. Traditionally, I kind of have a hard time with people jumping in on this. I really do. You're running a good little business right now. You're a neighborhood business, and you're putting yourself at a terrible risk. I just don't even know how else to describe it to you. You've got probably one of the, I won't say the best. This guy, you wouldn't get a head out the door, but anyways, you've got one of the best attorneys. You got to sit with him and talk. The fact that your brother owns a full-service package store, I don't think your brother's going to be there and be over your shoulder every day watching what you do. You're going to be in that store. You're going to have to make decisions.
Yes.
You know, people are going to come in and pay some gas and say, oh, yeah, give me a six-pack. Everything stops then. You got to say, give me your driver's license. You don't know, and I think if I had a movie camera, in fact, it's being recorded, and it'll be played back on Saturday and Sunday morning at 10:30, this meeting, okay? And if I had my druthers, I would single out that young man that was just in here, who looked like he was 15 years old, and he's 21. And we got a copy of his birth certificate, okay? He's 21. But if he came in my store to buy, I'd never sell to him. I don't think I'd sell to him if he produced a license that said he was 21. I'd say, no, you go to somebody else's store and buy it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. To me, he looked like he was maybe 16, 17 years old. Of course, to my younger colleagues here, you know, they're just babes in the woods. They haven't lived that long, you know. They'll get a few gray hairs and they'll kind of, you know. But I couldn't believe that he was 21. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
It's such a dangerous thing. All you've got to do is sell one six-pack to the wrong youngster. These children go home, and they are children. They go home, and they get on their computer, and they can reproduce a driver's license that if the good Lord himself looked at it, would not be able to tell it wasn't real. They're that good at it, okay?
I understand.
They're that good at it. You have to be better than that. You have to be better.
I understand.
And if you're not there, you have to make sure whoever you leave in charge thoroughly understands.
The business
Because-
run by family.
Huh?
Business run by family.
Well, I understand that, and that's wonderful, and it's nice to have family. But we've had many a case where families have made mistakes. The son or the daughter or the father, you know, ended up selling to a minor. You know, and I say this in all sincerity, you know, we have a new sheriff in town. You know who the sheriff is? The chief of police. He's out checking. So, you know, they're going to walk into your store one night. I'll guarantee you they're going to do that. And you better be on your toes. Whoever's working behind that counter better be on their toes, because that's when the hurt really comes into play.
Okay.
And I know that if I vote no, this kills it, and it dies here. And I listen to the argument of the people. And I listen to this gentleman, and I certainly can sympathize with him. Because he is, you know, he's been in the business, he knows the business. But I'm gonna lean with my fellow commissioner, and I'm gonna say that if you're offering a better service, you know what? Maybe they'll come to you. He's got a full-service package store. I think that if he offers the right service and stuff, I don't think it's going to affect him that way. I don't know. But I'm gonna second the motion and call for a vote. All in favor, say yes.
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 I will caution you. You do have competition right down the street. He's got a larger variety, and there's going to be a lot of temptation, you know, if things get tight, for people to start bending the rules. But like we talked about just a moment ago, where you're located, very few people are going to walk there.
Right.
They're usually going to drive, so they should have licenses. So there's not a lot of reason not to check the licenses for anybody to come in. All right?
Okay.
And I would get into a tips course if I were you. I'd find out and get myself well educated.
Okay.
Because you can lose everything you have, everything. You can lose your store, you can lose your house, you can lose everything. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Mr.
Thank you
Chairman?
very much. Yes.
If I may just interject one thing, this young woman is also to be proposed as manager of record for M&J Inc.
Yeah.
And Commissioner...
I'm sorry, I should have asked, yeah.
Nothing to report,
Nothing.
Mr. Chairman.
I thought he'd throw something at me.
In addition to that matter is, I have not discussed this matter with the attorneys, rulers, but the corporation has filed an application for a common vittler's license for 1401 Gorham Street. I'm not sure what that means. Typically, a common vittler is a restaurant, requires health inspection, and I don't know what the intent of the applicant on that matter is.
Attorney's rules.
Well, we don't, do we give out the liquor license? No. Board of Health does. He has to have a health inspection. Yeah.
It's-
No.
Well, let me ask, for the food, for what kind of food are you talking about serving? If it's packaged food, you don't need a common vittler's license. But if you're going to have hot dogs and other type of food,
No,
no.
none whatsoever. So we will withdraw that application.
You need a motion for that, to withdraw? Okay, all right, fine. All right, okay, this goes to Boston also, right? Ian? Yeah. Okay, can you can
Taxes
explain
and
to her
stuff.
about, having it sent down to Boston and the taxes and all the rest of that, okay?
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
See you all.
Thank you.
Okay?
Just as a point of, if I may, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, interject one item that was not properly noted on the agenda. Nick Petrakis, who was here earlier at the meeting, representing himself for the Blue Shamrock, late in August, had surrendered the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license at 25 Market Street, license that was issued to Same Heart Incorporated, of which he was one of the corporate principals in that license. The business is now closed at 25 Market Street. Apparently his lease expired on August the 16th. He has opted not to renew that lease. He has vacated the premises, and he has now surrendered that license, in which the commission may, if you wish, act to cancel out, accept for surrender as canceled that liquor license.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That's the, most recently doing business is Simba. Simba Cafe. Yeah.
Okay.
Across the street, yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
interesting. Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
the next item on the agenda is a communication that the License Commission had reviewed at the last meeting on August the 20th from a superintendent of police, Ken LaValle, in which the communication dated August the 19th with allegations of misconduct against the licensee known as Racer Toppy Inc., DBA Willie Tops, Racer Toppy Manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 731 Lakeview Avenue. Commissioner Weicker, at the meeting of August the 20th, made a motion to have subpoena witnesses relative to a certain, the police reports that were attached to the notice of letter of communication from the superintendent, in which I believe there was a second to that motion by Commissioner Occasion to review the matter at this meeting. The hearing had been scheduled on the complaint itself for September the 24th, and notice of hearing had been mailed out to the licensee on or about August the 26th, 2009, to the licensee by certified mail and return receipt request. I understand now there is maybe a legal counsel involved with the licensee, possibly representing the licensee at the hearing of September 24th. But now before you is the question of whether there should be a subpoena by the License Commission for individuals to appear to testify.
Okay. You know, let me, can I give you my outlook at it, and then tell me how you feel, okay? First of all, if I was to consider the complaint, which we're not doing right now, okay? We're just talking about the motion last week to subpoena. Okay, as I understood it, we wanted to, you were talking about trying to get this under 21 fellow who says he drank there. You know,
Three of them.
huh?
From the reports, I count 3 names.
Yeah, I know, but you know, the problem always there is, and I don't know, you know, we get letters all the time from the state police department, from the judicial system, saying that various people were stopped and they were asked where they drank last, okay? Very early in my career, sitting long before I ever sat here, I was at a major party one night, a major fundraiser, and I won't go into who it was or what it was, but a very prominent person stood up on the floor and said, if you get stopped on your way home tonight drinking, tell them you were at such and such a place. And I absolutely, literally, was ready to fall out of my chair. Couldn't believe that somebody would do that. The point being that I've often considered, you know, those complaints, if you will. If I had a friend and I was at my friend's bar or at my friend's house for that much, having a couple of drinks, and God forbid I thought I could drive home and I couldn't, and I was stopped, I would not tell the police or anybody that I had been at my friend's house. My friendship to those people would, and I'd come up with some other erroneous thing. And I use as an example to that, our beloved friend, Manny, and the Sidetrack Lounge. Because Manny they had a terrible accident one day on Gorham Street, and the police were involved, and the gentleman had been drinking, and they asked him where he drank last, and he said, I was at the Sidetrack. And it was Manny came in from the Sidetrack and had a video that was at his front door of all the people coming and going, and this gentleman that had been in the accident was in the video, and he was very clearly stopped at the door and turned away. And they did not allow him in the place, and yet, after this accident, he had the presence of mind, if you call it that, to blame it on Manny. So Manny brought the tape to show us all. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but I do, because that's the power of videotape. That really kind of impressed me. So I don't take these, and to drag these people in, I think it becomes more of a debate. Why did you say that? I don't know. I have a hard time with it. I much prefer that at the time this happened, that the police department had a policy that if they admitted drinking and they were minors, they should have been arrested, taken down to the police department, processed in such a manner that it would take till 2 o'clock in the morning, and then call their parents and come and get them. And believe me, you'll stop. It'll stop. It will stop. The funeral services in the city will probably rise greatly, but the drinking, if the parents are held responsible and said, you got to come and get him, he's a minor, he's been drinking. But to take someone's word for it, I have a problem with that, especially if they've been drinking. That's my 2 cents on it, for what it's worth.
I understand where you're coming from, Chairman Bayless. I guess my concern is, one of these counts is for serving under 21, and one of them is for a disturbance of any illegality. And with the illegality, they're saying that there was an assault and battery that took place at Willie Tops. But the person who's saying that was in the hospital. It didn't occur at Willie Tops, according to this police report. So the under 21, although it's serious, and you recounted your story, I could see saying, all right, we'll let that one go. But an assault and battery,
No.
but it's the same, although it's a more serious offense or alleged offense, we're gonna have the same problem because the individual was not seen in the bar committing the assault and battery. It was told to the police or the police officer was told that at the emergency room, correct? From my reading of the complaint.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's my biggest concern too, is that I can an officer come in and tell me, well, somebody told me this. If an officer comes in and tells me, I saw this, I observed this, that's very easy to say, but look, bar owner, I got an eyewitness here who's telling me this. But my concern is if we don't have a witness, are you going to have a bar owner who's going to walk in here and deny that it happened, and we're going to have a police officer saying, well, I heard from somebody else who's not here that it did. So I'd kind of like the witnesses. That's the reason I said we want them, because, literally,
I understand where you're coming from. I'm not
you know where I'm coming from with balancing the evidence. If we've got this, let's get it.
I do. I don't necessarily understand where Chairman Bayless' position. I would just point out hearsay is allowed, and you can do it. However, the question is whether or not it's reliable, and again, there are different factors. I believe it was put over for this time to determine, who do you want to subpoena in. This body does have the power of subpoena. It looks like you would subpoena in 3 people, and it would be like any other hearing where you judge the credibility. It's like, look, if you had to guess, you can kind of guess what someone would say on X and someone would say on Y, and you would be the judge of credibility. That this was put over to determine whether or not who to subpoena in. Right. And I believe that's the discussion that should be, bless you. Okay. That's the discussion that you should be having as to, which one's going to come in.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the first complaint, A. That was the only one that I'm talking about, is the idea that somebody said, if a policeman goes to the hospital and the guy's all busted up and he's getting stitches, something happened to him. There is an investigation into it. Now, before we go any further, Captain Webb, did a policeman went to the hospital and found out this happened, right?
That's correct.
And the guy, did somebody from the police department go over to Willie Tops after that to find out if there were any witnesses or anybody to talk to?
This is stuff that would be flushed out at the hearing. The only thing here is, do you want to bring these 3 people in?
We don't need a witness to that effect. If a policeman goes over and in his normal investigatory business goes to Willie Tops and finds out that he has witnesses there that he's talked to, people that these are sworn policemen. We're not going to start calling MP every Tom, Dick, and Harry. If the policeman's got a statement from an eyewitness, he took the complaint at the hospital, he went over, he talked to the people there, people told him what happened, he wrote it down. He's a policeman. I mean, we can go on and on and on.
And I agree that normally...
That's more than enough. That's a witness.
But there's nothing in any of the allegations to support anything. What has been presented to Willie Tops is the police spoke to the people at the hospital. They were investigating something else. The 2 witnesses said X and Y. That's what it says. Again, if it happened on the site, the other woman, there may well be excited utterance. It may well be that could be reliable on that. However, the issue is, in this thing, is do you want to bring in someone from 0 to 3 people?
You go on to, that's like, saying, okay, they arrive on the scene and somebody shot it, but they didn't see it. So now we got to go find the people that were at the bar that night that possibly could have seen it. I mean, there are certain
which would
things
be
that I
the
think
3
this
people.
board, there's been many an argument about it, but this board's, is charged with a little common sense. The guy's face is busted up. He's getting 19 stitches. Where did you get beat up, son? I was at Willie Tops and a bunch of guys jumped me. I get in my cruiser. I drive over Willie Tops. I say, you, come out here. Yeah, what's your name? Frank. Yeah, Frank, what happened here? Okay, and Frank tells me what happened. This is why people don't get involved. This is why Crime Stoppers is so important. Because the guy that you want to bring in here to stand up there and say, I saw this guy do this, is going to be more worried about retribution after it's over. You have a policeman who's a sworn officer who's going to invest, then what you're saying is we don't need any investigations. All we need to do is just keep dragging people in here.
Chairman, I don't think that's what's being said. The question here is, and I think the reason I raised the issue was we had some very nasty, negative publicity on this board because of issues with evidence, and trying to preempt that by actually having a presented packaged case would mean bringing in some witnesses so that we don't run into this issue again, where people are saying, well, you know, rumor has it this happened, do something. All right, I'd like some evidence. That's the reason I raised the issue. You know, I understand, if you tell me if a police officer comes in and tells me this, I did this, I saw that, great. But from what I got in a police report, it says, I was told by somebody that they were doing this at this location. Okay, that's not, you know.
And the Willie Top security guard said it didn't happen inside.
Right.
So therefore, if you brought the individual in that said it happened and they were up here, then you could address the credibility of that statement.
Right.
Right. I mean, this is not about Crime Stoppers. Which again, at some point, in the Crime Stoppers, someone would have to go in and testify.
No.
That this.
No.
If it goes
You
to
call
court,
you call a hotline, there's absolutely no way for them to trace the phone call back to you.
Okay.
But eventually,
that's why they get the tips.
Right, but guess what?
The
You
policeman,
can't prosecute somebody without a witness. So if they call in anonymously and they get a tip, big deal. You can make an arrest, and the guy ends up walking because no witness comes forward.
And I agree with you.
Need a witness.
Nine times out of 10, this commission would have either firsthand or very reliable hearsay from the officers where they wouldn't need witnesses. However, on these reports, you know, it could say, the sergeant saw me in the hospital, and I said I was out drinking with President Clinton, and we just got back from seeing Obama. I don't know if that necessarily means it's true. You'd probably want to have me in and ask me a few questions to see if that's actually true. This is where everything, if you believe everything the police officer says, it does leave room for credibility. And in this instance, again, I'm not necessarily a proponent of bringing people in, but in this instance, you know, I can understand why a body such as your own would want to hear from the individuals, because the police officers can't give you certain information.
And I don't think that either Commissioner Weicker or myself are questioning the credibility of the police. It's the credibility of the people making the statements. The police take down what statements were made, but it's the people that are making the statements that, you know, we would like to hear from.
Right, and we've got a report where the police officer says, I had a statement from one person saying X, and I have a statement from another person saying Y. Okay, he wasn't, you know, this is not a case where he went to the scene and picked up the person who was, you know, 20 years old drinking at the location. This is where somebody said, well, this happened here, and he went back and the security guard said, no, it didn't. All right, that's why I'd like to hear from the witnesses and be able to evaluate their credibility, because that's what we're looking at. And I don't want to be in the situation where, you know, they come in and they bring 4 of their employees who walk in and say, no, never saw this person before. And the officer says, well, this person who's not here says that this is what happened. You know, and we have public outrage because there wasn't enough done to present this case. So.
Make a motion.
All right. I will make a motion to go ahead and subpoena, and you tell me whether or not you're concerned with the bringing in the people who were under 21.
Anybody makes you happy.
Well, nobody makes me happy. I'm an unhappy guy. What can I tell you?
I just, you know, I think procedure counts.
And I'm not,
for something.
and I'm not knocking the procedure.
I understand.
But if the, you know, if everything the officer tells me is true,
but the
then
thing
he
is
had
that,
2
you know,
competing
we all get
stories told to
together
him.
and,
So I want to hear from the people who
can't
told him.
Go ahead.
So I think we have a Miss Jessica Chrétien, Courtney Hall, a Mary Lem, a Rachel Tessier. And I don't think we need to subpoena the guy at the door because I'm pretty sure the business will end up bringing him.
How about Radis Rodriguez?
Is he from the,
Rachel Tessier said she was at Willie Top's nightclub with her friend Radis Rodriguez.
Well, we may not have an address.
Oh, okay.
yeah, if we don't have an address for him, you know. But,
So you want subpoenas for the people who have addresses?
yes. And I think we had 4 of them that were listed in the 2 police reports.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
So let me see if I got this. No, bear with me, please. I just want to know the individuals that need to be subpoenaed. Jessica Critchen. Yep. Courtney Hall.
Yes.
Rachel Tessier.
Yes?
And one
Rodriguez.
No, there was,
Radis Rodriguez.
no.
That may be for one that you haven't addressed yet.
Well, there's one other under 21 person listed in a report, and I don't know if it was included in this.
Because we're taking them as 2 separate instances.
Okay.
Can I help you clarify that, gentlemen?
I'm sorry?
Can I help you clarify that as far as the
Please.
dates go? Sure. The young lady known as Mary Lem is the person involved in an incident that letter was just submitted to the commission today that you haven't taken up yet.
Okay.
So I believe there are 3 names and addresses on the matter that's scheduled for September 24th.
Okay.
Jessica Critchen, Courtney Hall, and Jessica Tessier.
Yes. Rachel, yes.
Rachel Tessier.
Those 3 are for what's been scheduled for the 24th.
They ought to be subpoenaed.
Yes, and I'll take care of that with you.
Well, let me ask, are we going to try and schedule this new violation for the same date?
Can we just wait on that please?
Okay.
I just want to, because we may want to jump beyond that to another matter on this agenda.
Can I just, Radis Rodriguez, we do have an address for.
Okay.
Okay, then let's add them to the list.
So, relative to the hearing that's been scheduled for September 24th, 3 o'clock, in the City Council chamber, on the complaint against the Racy Toppy Inc., as alleged by the Superintendent of Police, City of Lowell, by way of the Law Department, will subpoena Jessica Critchen, Courtney Hall, Rachel Tessier, and Radis Rodriguez to testify on these matters to do with the incidents that had taken place
On August.
First was the evening of July 10th, 11th, 2009. Also August 7th, 2009, and August 8th, 2009. Okay. Now, relative to that matter, if I may, Mr. Chairman, just interject one thing in regards to communication the License Commission Office had received as early as September 1st, and also a follow-up was forwarded by way of email, both communications by way of email on or about September 8th, from a woman named Anne Marie Page, who is a board member of the Centerville Neighborhood Action Group. She had requested, through the License Commission Office, to be a speaker for the Willie Tops hearing that's now scheduled for September 24th, 2009. And I bring that to the board's attention if they wish to communicate any matter relative to that, so that I can, because Mrs. Page has issues with our time of schedule in with regards to her schedule in which she can be available to be a speaker.
Well, if Ms. Page has firsthand information regarding the 2 incidents, I believe she could come here and speak through the law department.
If
she doesn't have firsthand information, I don't believe her speaking is appropriate. She would not add anything to the hearing. That's my understanding.
Right. What is on is whatever is in the letter to Willie Tops sending out the allegations. If she has any information, or if anyone out there has information regarding those those incidences, those allegations, they can come forward and testify. Since it is a contemplated disciplinary hearing regarding those matters, it can only be limited to those matters. If there's additional information, that could not be considered by you in the decision because there's the notice and opportunity to be heard that Willie Tops would have a right to. So unless it's that, you know, and the other thing they could do is if they had concerns about violations of wrongdoing that they had seen or observed, they can certainly put it forward to you in a letter, and then you could decide whether or not you'd want to have schedule a hearing for whatever they put in a letter, which would then require them to come in and give testimony as to you know, their observations of what they've seen and heard at Willie Tops.
So if I get this right, each and every complaint has to be addressed individually and with the proper notice in order for any ruling that we have to be effective and not be overturned, correct?
Right.
Okay, we've given notice, we're going to hear on these two events, we'll hear on these two events. If there's a new complaint that's filed with us from the CNA, we can then take action on that if we, you know, if there's information on that.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess, can we determine whether or not the information that she's going to present, we need to find out if the information she's presenting is relevant to these specific allegations that have already been scheduled, or if they're new allegations, then we can bring those in and schedule a hearing on those.
Other than that, we would not let her speak at the hearing because she could prejudice us.
So what I may do, or if you're so inclined, and if the solicitors recommend, I will forward to her a copy of this communication that's before you, that's now public record, on the allegations as the superintendent of police has filed in the notice of hearing to the licensee that was forwarded by the License Commission Office on or about August 26th. And if she can address those specific matters that she would have knowledge of.
Right.
And only those matters.
Make sure you put specific in big letters and only those in big, that she would understand. That.
Otherwise, if she wants to speak on other matters, she would have to introduce a letter to the board for their review and to
setting up the new
schedule
matters.
Appropriate time.
You know, if it's a neighborhood association, and this is not to, you know, but a lot of times folks don't understand, but if it's a neighborhood association and this place has become a problem in the neighborhood and everything, there's absolutely no reason why they can't, as a neighborhood, write a letter to us with whatever complaints they have and come in here to the meeting. The folks downtown have done it when one of the bars have gotten out of hand. They've gotten together and they show up and we listen. And we don't want her or anybody in the neighborhood to be offended that we wouldn't listen on this, but I think we need to keep this on track. We need to keep this on track.
Right, and you want to make sure that you keep, you know, apples with apples and oranges with oranges.
Right, exactly. Now, the next question.
I was going to use that analogy.
No, we're not. No, you weren't. Honestly. The next question is on the next letter of complaint.
Right, if I may just introduce that matter, if I could. The communication is now from Kenneth LaValle, the Superintendent of Police, a letter dated September 8th, 2009. The allegation of misconduct against Race Toppy, Inc., doing business as Willie Tops, Race Toppy, manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 731 Lakeview Avenue. And this is the first time you've had an opportunity to review such a communication.
Okay. Have we got, no, you know, now, without passing judgment, please understand that. We haven't heard the complaint or anything, but it's you look like...
I would just be cautious.
I'm trying to be cautious. I'm trying. As I had said to other folks here before, unfortunately, sometimes when a place goes bad, it progressively gets worse. Okay, I'm not passing judgment on this complaint or anything, but I'm saying that I think we have two things that we have to look at here. Okay, number one, a public safety issue. I think primarily a public safety issue. And if I'm speaking out of turn, say so, but...
You know, I would just say, this is before you. Do you want to put this on for a hearing at the next meeting, and do you want to have a subpoena for the person?
I do.
Then that is probably the quickest, easiest way to handle it.
But...
I just gave you my thoughts on it.
But we don't need a but.
But there's always that but will kill you. I want to express this the proper way. In a situation where the public is at risk, and certainly a public shooting,
Now, see,
I'm not saying
there's-
anybody did, I'm just
but,
asking a
you know,
question. I
Don't go
didn't
too
say
far.
anybody did. Give me a break. I didn't say anybody did, I'm just, okay, there's,
There's no allegation of that.
I'm not saying
anywhere.
that. I'm not
You know-
saying that. I'm asking a question. Public safety-wise, do the police have the right to close a place, any place?
I think, you know, the answer can be in the Boston case, where they had several shootings outside of Boston Bar, where it was closed for 24 hours, and then there was a hearing, and then it reopened. You know,
Okay.
this body is the body that controls
Oh, I
what
understand
happens.
that, but the police can close it for 24 hours and have
No,
it...
well, that's what they did in that case. The simplest thing is, if you think there's a problem, you should address it immediately. If you want to schedule a hearing for tomorrow, you can do a hearing tomorrow. This is the body that should make that decision, not the police. Because ultimately, it's going to come to you. They can do a temporary stopgap, but they need to bring it before you immediately. If something happened on, say, Friday night, well, obviously, you guys can't convene. The police take action. At the first available time, it comes to this board to make the decision, that if you have concerns, you may want to consider scheduling it before September 24th.
Okay. Want to just tie it into the 24th?
Yeah, I think we should put it all on for the 24th.
But it's separate.
But they're all separate.
Right. It's a separate issue with a separate hearing, because, I mean, it's a separate allegation, but
But if
And it's-
Is that-
the
well,
secretary thinks it's more appropriate to put it on for a later date, we can do that.
The only,
It's up to you. It would be heard separately.
Right.
But you could put them on the same day. And again, if you have concerns, you know,
and I think we got enough notice out on the letter that we can consider all of our options, correct?
okay,
Including
no, but that's,
rollback?
that was the
That was the,
point I
I think
just want
that's
to
the
make, is
issue.
the hourly thing is, I know this board has always kind of used that as a means to discipline licensees in which they curtail their operating hours, particularly after 11 p.m. I'm not so sure sending out a letter, if it could theoretically be sent out tomorrow, certified mail return receipt request, that the
meet the
issue
14 days.
of hours could be properly addressed if that was a means for discipline for this particular matter now before you on September the 24th.
on the second one, because it's on the first one, so on the first set of complaints, you could consider on the
The hourly
24th
thing
the
is-
decrease of hours.
All right,
It
on the
also
first set,
could
we
be-
gave the correct notice that we can consider
Correct.
that. Okay.
The other thing is, it's certainly within their purview, if they wanted to waive it, they could waive it as far as the second one goes, but it may well be, again, you have it on the first one. You have that option on the first one.
Okay.
Because you need 14 days' notice.
Right.
Than just, for...
Yeah, that's, I wanted to make sure, as long as we had the 14 days notice on the first set of issues, do you have any problem with putting it on for the 24th?
No.
All right, I'll make the motion to put it on for then.
Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now the last one is the other thing that we want to talk about is this letter.
If you wish to bring it up, that's your business.
Yeah, I wish to bring it up. I think we need to address it. The letter, we have received a letter from, where is the letter? Who's got it?
Right there.
This is, this?
Yes.
Okay. Received a letter about our meeting time from the city manager and some emails from Anne Marie Page as to the times that we meet. I think we'll take it under advisement, but how many years has the licensing commission been met at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Anybody got any idea they can give me?
I would suggest to the board it's at least 10 years. The commission has had meetings starting at 3 p.m. And so it's been quite a period of time.
Well, it's going to cost the city more money if we went to an evening meeting.
Well,
because of overtime and whatnot, and
I made, in anticipation that possibly this matter would be discussed by the board this afternoon, I kind of went to the city's website on event calendar.
Yeah.
And just as a projecting into the from now until the end of the calendar year, till the end of December.
Okay?
The License Commission has, through the office of the mayor, at the beginning of the year, made arrangements to utilize the council chamber for Thursday afternoons at 3 p.m. when the board would be scheduled to meet. And as you may notice on the balance of the calendar year's calendar, board meetings are scheduled for 3 p.m. on scheduled dates, starting not only today, but the 24th and through the calendar year. There is also the concern about anything other than 3 p.m. position-wise in terms of jockeying with other boards, and certainly the city council and the school committee take precedent over any board, and so their schedules are more or less set in stone. Tuesdays for the council, Wednesdays for the school committee. Mondays and Thursdays are the other options. Friday afternoons or Friday evenings, I don't think too many boards hold meetings unless it's an emergency session, which generally it's only with the council involved. So you're dealing with, on Mondays, zoning board and possibly planning board meetings, and they, I think, sometimes alternate their schedule. On one meets on one Monday, the next Monday the other board meets, and vice versa. It kind of alternates that way. I've noticed also recently that there's scheduling right after this board meeting this afternoon for the Disabilities Commission to meet at 5:30 this afternoon, and also I believe this evening after the Disabilities Commission, the Planning Board meets here in the council chamber. Also, the Planning Board is scheduled to meet on Thursday, the 24th of September, when at 6:30, also here in the council chamber, the Board License Commission is going to be meeting at 3 o'clock that afternoon. So the thing is, all of this has to be spelled out with other boards in advance. The other issue is, just for the sake of the License Commission office at the moment, I have 3 applications that need to be addressed by the License Commission for public hearing that you have not seen yet, and when those applications are to be heard, a legal notice is required at least 10 days prior to that. So setting up legal notices to be published in the newspaper for certain applications, we need to know the exact start time.
I mean, I don't know how you feel, but the answer to me is I think that I've said this before, maybe not been received too well, but if there was an issue of something to do with a piece of property that I had, a house my mother lived in, a business that I owned or whatnot, I don't care if they had it at 2 o'clock in the morning. If it's going to affect my quality of life, I'm going to take a time out from my precious little life and say, you know, I got to be there to stand up for my mother, or stand up for the business. You know, we've met at 3 o'clock on Thursday as long as I've been on this board. When you're starting to talk about bringing in police, and you're talking about witnesses, and you're talking, I think that the police department and the law department and the secretary and people at City Hall that keep the building open for us and everything, they've done a wonderful job at working around our schedule to make it. Certainly, I think all of you would agree that when we've had a controversial issue, they can pack in here when they want. The problem a lot of times is that, you know, people have a controversy, but they want you to get out front and fight it, and everybody else stays at home. And then if it doesn't make it, you get mad at the person that presented it. I think the people have to, again, go back to taking some responsibility and showing up and taking some time out and say, this is important to me.
I think another issue that affects the License Commission more than it probably affects other boards is we deal primarily with liquor stores and also bars and restaurants, which just common sense would tell me 6:30, 7, those are the busiest times that business will have. And to pull out managers and employees at 6:30 on a Thursday night or a Wednesday night, whenever it is, you're pulling employees away from their prime time of their business. And I think we try to be fair as a board, and to do that repeatedly to different establishments would be unfair in my eyes. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. My concern too is, and I understand, look, doing things at 5 o'clock is sometimes easier than doing them at 3. But we only meet twice a month. And it's not like there's that many days that you would have to know to be available. You know, and I really don't want to get into the issue where if we were to look at another time, and what kind of cost are we looking at imposing on the city to do this? I mean, I'd really like to know dollar-wise, what is it going to cost to move this meeting? When would we be able to move it to? What are we looking at for overtime expenses? And if it's for people to come in and speak once a year, it might be a little easier on the city for them to take that hour or 2 off from work early.
And also, if, just as a moment of, just to reflect on what you've just discussed regarding Racy Topping Inc., the Willie Tops business. Obviously, there's some issues controversial in the Centerville section of Lowell. No question. And it's been brewing probably for several months now. Obviously, we're getting what might appear to be the tip of the iceberg. But I would just suggest to the board, you've just already announced that unless certain people have certain specific evidence to present on these matters, they're not to be allowed to speak specific to the matter.
Right.
If they wish to vent a frustration, which is, this is certainly a board that can hear frustration from individuals, but they need to introduce their concerns to the board in a hearing so we can allow for the licensee to have, if they choose, proper representation to rebut any issues that may be forthcoming from any persons. So if need be, I mean, I think in what the communication from the city manager is if that situation where the neighbors want to say, we've had enough of this place and we want to talk to you about this, we want the time to vent our issues so that we need, then the License Commission could then specifically schedule a time.
Come on down.
After 5 p.m., 6:30, 7 p.m.
No.
Let everybody from Centerville or Pawtuckettville or the Highlands.
Why do we have to go after 5 o'clock? We're here. You know, we're here, Brian. We're here as race. You know, I mean, this is, you know, we try to do the best we can. We're here. We're here at 3 o'clock, you know, twice a month. You know, all they got to do is write you a letter like Anne Marie Page just did. I mean, and if she's got, this particular letter doesn't proclaim any problems that she wants to address. She wants to address, in generalities, the problems of Willie Tops, which she can do if she wants, but not at this particular hearing. This particular hearing is dealing with specific complaints that are spelled out. But as I said, any of the city, you know, we have all these neighborhood groups, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help them. We're not here to go against them. But, you know, if it was, again, if it was that important, 3 o'clock, one Thursday, I agree with Ray. I think that they can be here. They can be here at our time. We're here. We're giving up time from our businesses.
I mean,
or at least some of us.
I'll tell you, trust me, if starting at 6 o'clock would save me money, but I know it's probably not going to save the city money. So really not that inclined to move it. You know, besides, I don't know if our budget's big enough to pay you all the overtime that would entail.
I hope it's big enough to pay for the subpoenas.
So I could make a motion just to put the letter on file?
Yes, I'll second that motion. Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes.
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 Okay. Anything else anybody can think of? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
We're coming home, Benjamin.